A fitness influencer is under fire for creating a women-only gym. Hi, I'm Natalee Barnett, clinical psychologist, and on this channel we talk about various topics and we analyze them from a psychological point of view. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Before starting this video, I want to remind you that I give in-person and online therapy. So if you need a consultation, please feel free to reach me out on my social media, my phone number, my email. All of them will be listed down below in the description box as well. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. It will help me out a lot. And if there's a specific topic that you would like me to talk about, leave it in the comments down below or feel free to DM me on my Instagram. I'm always open to suggestions and I love interacting with you all. Natalee Barnett is a UK-based fitness influencer that has a massive following. Her content is all about working out, staying in shape while being pregnant, a busy mom, encouraging women to exercise in ways they like, not to be skinny necessarily, but being strong, muscular if that's what they want to do to improve their physical and mental health and take care of their economy.
Guys, I spoke about this on my Instagram story yesterday, right? But there's a very interesting conversation going on right now about the fact that a lot of women are turning to reformer Pilates and bar, and particularly those three because they're very high-end, very expensive kind of classes, right? And the reason that a lot of women are turning to those rather than just getting a gym membership is because naturally they are women-dominated spaces. It's like attending a women's only space without saying you're attending a women's only space. Because although men can do bar and men can do reformer Pilates, if you was to go to a class, you typically don't get them in those spaces. So women are forking out so much more money to be in these spaces because they are indirectly and inherently women-dominated spaces. And I think it's very telling that women are willing to fork out so much money to be in these realms. We have a problem, guys, and that's why I'm doing the girls' work.
She has also been very vocal about the harassment many women experience at gyms.
It is always going to be a man. I'll repeat that. It is always going to be a man. And I never want to hear it's not all men ever again because it is fucking enough of them. Yes, it's not my dad, it's not my brother, it's not my boyfriend, but it will fundamentally always be a man. Because even when men come across women-only spaces, knowing they aren't welcome, they'll still find a fucking way to ruin it. And as a women's-only gym owner, this shit terrifies me. Because I know that gym harassment and harassment in general far extends the four walls of a fucking gym. Because there are men like that out there. And I think to myself, if I do this, am I doing enough? Will women still be safe? Will we still face the exact same fucking problems? Please leave women alone.
And this last point is the reason why she decided to start a project, a female exclusive gym, the Girls Spot, so females are able to work out in a safe space. Now, this project has been running for 4 years now, and during its first stages, one of the things Natalee said was that this gym will be open for both biological and trans women. However, recently she came up with a statement in which she said that trans individuals won't be allowed, and this enraged some people. But let's read the following article to further understand this controversy. Fitness influencer Natalee Barnett attacked online for refusing to allow trans women into her female-only gym after U-turning and saying, of course they are welcome. The founder of a female-only gym has become the center of social media storm after saying her workout space won't allow transgender women entry. Fitness influencer and model Natalee Barnett, 25, devised the idea behind the Girls Spot gym, which is due to open soon in Wandsworth, South London, after experiencing gym-based sexual harassment at the hands of men. When Barnett, who boasts a combined 2.5 million followers on social media, first started raising funds for the space in 2021, she indicated that it would be open to trans women. 4 years later, and with over £22,900 raised via GoFundMe donations, Barnett has backtracked on her initial objective, stating that the gym is no longer trans-inclusive and will only serve as a safe space for biological women. Since the entrepreneur has been subject to bile abuse and branded transphobic, however, others have said she may face legal action. Of course, trans women are welcome at my women-only gym, she said in a TikTok in 2021. I don't see trans women as trans women. I see trans women and women. And if you identify as a woman, then you are, of course, welcome. Barnett's announcement has fueled a heated debate on social media, with critics blasting the influencer for accepting donations on the basis that the gym would permit trans women who were born male but now identify as female before reversing her decision. Here are some of the lovely comments she received back in 2021 when she was up to open her gym for trans people, and here is the GoFundMe. As you can see, this has been a big deal for many of her followers and herself. Of course, her desire to do this has also gotten tons of criticism, and she has stood up for herself because she firmly believes this is a business that females need. And this belief could have made her reflect about the trans-inclusive part and take back what she said back in 2021.
2021, 4 years ago, I made a tweet, and the tweet referenced my women's only gym, the girl spot, and being trans inclusive. Now, when I made that tweet in 2021, I had just announced my plans to open a women's only gym. I hadn't thought out the vision or the mission or what it would entail, but all I knew is that I wanted to open a gym. We are now 4 years later, and I've had a great deal of time to figure that out. The Girl Spot Gym exists as a safe space for women because women are facing gym harassment, sexual assault, and sexual violence inside of gyms, and I know that because I'm a victim of it. So the meaning of the Girl Spot Gym is now entirely different, and I say this to say that whilst we are a gym, inside we are focusing on self-defense classes, Muay Thai, boxing classes, as well as workshops and activations around PCOS and training on your menstrual cycle, all of which occur to biological women. Majority of the women who are seeking my women's only gym, the Girl Spot, are coming here because they have faced some level of gym intimidation or sexual violence and assault that has been perpetrated by men. So as the owner of the gym, it is very important to make it clear how my women's only gym will be operating, and it will be operating as a single-sex space for biological women. Now, we do believe that everybody deserves a safe space, and there are many gyms that are starting to have mixed cubicles and changing rooms so that individuals can feel safer and more included in these environments. But the Girl Spot Gym as a standalone is a female-only gym because it is imperative that I stick to the vision and the mission and ensure that these women feel safe.
And she also posted this statement on Instagram. Now, there are some key points in this. She did take an impulsive decision in 2021 when she said she will open her gym for trans individuals. As she mentioned, at that time, she just had the idea and aspiration to open a gym, and maybe she let herself go a bit due to the excitement, and I sort of get it. She was getting so much support that could have caused her dopamine and serotonin to go to the roof, and that explosion of happiness could have made her say yes to many things, including the admission of trans women. Later, as time went by, she most likely got advisors, her business began taking form. As I already said, she really wanted women to feel safe, so maybe she realized that letting trans people in isn't the best thing to do, and she backtracked. And I would say this decision is not only for biological women. I mean, one important thing she's doing is implementing workshops so users can build a fitness plan surrounding PCOS, menstrual cycle, maybe pregnancy, as her content has also been around that topic. Those are things that happen to biological women only. Even if she allowed trans individuals to get in, because of these classes, they would feel discriminated anyway, and she would also receive hate. So even indirectly, she's preventing transgender people from being excluded. And objectively speaking, she didn't say anything bad in the video. She's taking accountability of what she said. She's retracting respectfully. Yes, it would have been great she didn't create false expectations in 2021, but as we're going to see in a moment, she has also responded to that and is taking action. But hey, the internet couldn't let Natalee alone after she changed her mind and the rules from her gym, so they decided to cancel her, which forced her to delete that specific video I showed you before. Let's check some of the opinions people have. This is transphobic. To every trans women who donated or supported this endeavor, I'm so sorry you were lied to. Trans women are women and you're a bigot.
I am so fucking sick of straight women coming into queer spaces for safety and protection, but then not extending it the other way. There's an influencer in London who was starting an all-female gym, and she specifically said, when she was fundraising for this idea in 2021, that it was going to be a trans-inclusive space because trans women are a minority deserving of protection, and that was the entire ethos of the gym, was to protect women. Now, this week, she released a video because her gym's opening in a couple months to specifically say, actually, never mind, trans women are not included in this space. She implied that trans women were somehow a danger or a threat to the biological women in the space, and that it was going to be a trans exclusionary space. People have been so immediately upset about this because what is the logistical implementation of that? In what world does it make women safer for this random woman to be an arbiter of like what a biological woman is or isn't? And also, you're running a gym. Like, if a girl comes in a little too muscular, a little too manly to you, are you gonna like check her genitals? Like, I'm genuinely so curious to know what the implementation of the logistical side of that is that makes women any safer. Also, again, like, why so often do straight women love coming to queer spaces to feel safety and protection from like the men at the straight bars, but then just do not reciprocate it, do not extend it the other way? This is a time where trans people need protection and need support, and you're going to now exclude them from the space and imply that they are somehow dangerous. We're also, by the way, I do not know a single person who has ever been harmed by a trans woman. Every single girl I know has been harmed by a man. I think it's absolutely disgusting and so hateful, and I hope that nobody goes to her fucking gym, and I'm glad that she already deleted her video, and I hope that it does harm her business, because it does not make any of us safer when we are hatefully excluding a minority group for no fucking reason.
That second video had this caption, by the way, and I don't know why this person touched the Iman Khalif situation. I thought it was already cleared out. That athlete has a condition in which it might be confusing to determine their sex at birth due to the shape of their genitals. In simpler words, is hermaphroditism, in which doctors usually advise the parents to raise these patients as girls. Why? Because they don't know what else to do, as this condition hasn't been studied enough. However, medical exams were released and Khalif turned out to have male chromosomes, testosterone, and a micropenis. So he's a man who took advantage of his condition to beat a woman and get an Olympic medal in the female category because as a male he was in the last places. Allegedly, because I don't want to get sued. But woke people will only talk about the side of the story that benefits them and hide other facts that could destroy their biased narratives. Okay, continuing with the opinions. This lady said a bunch of nothing. You were assaulted by a man in the past, so now the women's only gym that you opened after the fact and said would be trans inclusive is suddenly not inclusive after you've received the funding donations for it. No trans woman is going to the gym to assault people. No man is pretending to be trans to attack women. Cis men have free reign in this country to abuse women with little consequence. They don't have to act trans to do it. Is she slow or am I? So because she got sexually assaulted, not dismissing her trauma as I have also been through that means trans women can come inside a gym. Claims gym is a safe space for all women. Backtracks and tries to play the victim card as an explanation for why she's imposing transphobic policies. Mind you, she was assaulted by a cis male, not a trans woman. She grifted people into supporting her. I hope she fails. It's ironic that many of these critics are part of the Me Too movement, but they are dismissing Natalee's story being a victim of abuse. It's contradictory. And it's also appalling that they say trans women are not a threat, they don't pretend to be trans to abuse girls, when there are plenty of stories like those that are on the screen right now in which creepy men say I'm a woman and have tried to assault girls in the bathrooms, and when females have decided to stand up for themselves, they have been at disadvantage because they have even been banned from gyms, forbidden to work out those places, for going against these transgender individuals for the sake of their safety. Yes, it is a reality that there are trans individuals that have been victims of abuse, of harassment, murder without any reason more than because they are trans. That's another issue that could receive help. However, that doesn't mean that there are not trans people that are creepy, and that doesn't mean perverts do not pretend to be transgender to be able to get into women's spaces to abuse them. That's a reality that cannot be denied. Mind you, this is a reply that Natalee received in one of her posts about her gym, and there were more of those, by the way. Then what is she supposed to do? Let this weird individual in and risk women for the sake of being trans inclusive? She is actually just using her common sense to give females the safety they are looking for in that gym. Now, are there many trans women that do not look as if they were in the middle of their transitions? Yes, and as the first critic I showed you, I'm also curious on how the logistics are going to be to make sure they are allowing only biological women, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see because that aspect might result tricky. Anyway, Natalee is indeed conscious of the hate train that is taking place on social media, and she is actually facing it, which is actually mature from her part. Generally, influencers are sort of emotionally disconnected and they only cry or pretend to cry and apologize in a video, and that's it. But Natalee first posted a lengthy statement on Instagram acknowledging the difficulties trans people face, that they need a safe place too, and she is aware of that. Nonetheless, she reassured her mission to create a protective environment for those women that have been abused, harassed, or intimidated by men, which might include all biological men at gyms. Hence why she took the hard decision to only permit biological females. Later, she also posted this thread. I like to bring clarity regarding donations to my women's only gym, the Girls Spot, from a GoFundMe campaign that started in 2021. From 2021, when I publicly spoke about being trans inclusive, until March 9, 2025, there have been 89 donations in total from the public, with donations averaging at £13. The total donation amount from the public outside of family and friends was $1,190. The truth is, I contributed £5,000 of my own money to make the Girls Spot a reality, and donations didn't come from one singular community. I recognize that some donors feel differently given the recent updates about how TGS will be operating, and I want to respect that choice. If you have donated to the Girls Spot GoFundMe page and would like a refund, please email, and she puts the address with a screenshot of GoFundMe confirmation email. After verifying your donation, you will receive a 5-digit code to confirm your request. Once confirmed, your refund will proceed via bank transfer. I have always been transparent about fundraising for the Girls Spot, and I genuinely want everyone to feel supported. I know this conversation has been difficult for some, and I hope we can all continue in advocating for spaces where people feel safe and respected. Which means internet users are throwing tantrums for something they might haven't even made a donation for, but they feel entitled to have an opinion just because they are able to thanks to the internet. This is literally Natalee's project. She also received some money from her closest people. What if someone in her circle had experiences of abuse or knew someone who suffered it from a trans individual? And that's why she took that decision, because she actually knows what it's like to be a victim of it and doesn't want anyone to go through that. And she's being empathetic by understanding why some may be upset, and she's holding herself accountable. Therefore, she's giving a refund to those that are disappointed. Why are people hating on her? It's literally her project. She's the owner, so she can set any rules she wants, and if someone doesn't like it, then go anywhere else. No one is forcing you to go to the gym. You maybe aren't even able to go because you are not in the UK. Fortunately, though, I found other opinions from sane individuals that are able to comprehend Natalee's position.
I'm all for the trans community, you know what I'm saying? Be who you are, but also be so for real. Like, she said she only wants biological women in that gym because, you know what I'm saying? Like, trans women, you are a woman, be what you want, but you know you also have the abilities of a man.
Her gym also focuses on PCOS, periods, and other biological processes that happen in biological women, and that's why it would make sense to be inclusive. Move, man. Her gym, her rules. Move on. She can do whatever she wants. Sick of this bullying now. I'll be supporting her. Exactly. Many trans women still have the abilities of a man, down there in various cases, but also the physical strength to harm them. How can women feel safe in that way? Second, as I already said, she has classes surrounding a fit life with PCOS, menstruation, which only happen to biological women. Trans people are going to feel like outcasts anyway because they don't have a uterus, they don't have ovaries, and that would have been just another reason to hate on Natalee nonetheless. And third, she's the founder of the gym. She can do whatever she wants with her business. Even if it fails or thrives, it's still her business. Trans people can open their own safe spaces. The struggles of women, born women, and transgender women are different, and there needs to be separated spaces to cater for each of us. Why do cis women always have to accept and include everyone into everything? Why can't we have something for ourselves? We are no longer women. We are cis women. I don't want to change in front of a man. Why aren't you considering those women who are afraid of biological men? Why do women have to give up their safe spaces to biological men? Her gym, her rules. She's also thinking about the religious women who can unveil wear sportswear around non-biological women. It's not always about trans women. She has a point. Who can guarantee that a man with women clothes won't enter the gym, claim himself as a trans woman, and assault, harass women? Mere sick-minded people. Exactly. Trans women do have issues, but they are different than those biological women have. It's fair and valid for them to claim they want to have their safe spaces too, but that doesn't mean they have to invade other people's shelters. If they do that, they are actually being selfish and narcissistic, which is a very common thing with the type of mindset many human beings have nowadays, which is basically being trapped in this me idea. Therefore, they only focus on how they are feeling without taking others' feelings into account, as long as only they are okay doing whatever they want to do without limits or boundaries. In this case, it's trans individuals wanting to get into a gym without caring if biological women feel unsafe, unprotected, or cannot do certain things around biological men due to their beliefs, simply because they want to force an ideology onto people's faces for their own benefit. Then, generally speaking, people are throwing shade at Natalee because she's not giving up into their requests. And the thing is, many haters are not even going to the girl's spot. They just want to hate on this influencer because she doesn't necessarily think the way they do, and they feel entitled to insult her until she changes her mind and the direction of her business because they think the world must revolve around them. But guess what? This self-centered ideology is the one that causes these individuals to have problems interacting with others, so they decide to isolate in their bubbles, which makes them use social media a lot. They develop a life in this virtual space, thinking they know these individuals they see on the screen, including influencers in a personal level, and they feel entitled to criticize and make assumptions about them just because they have parasocial relationships with these personalities. But in reality, that's actually very dysfunctional because in the end, they are interacting with a screen, not with real people. That's problematic. And in the case of not only trans individuals, but all oppressed minorities, this narcissism, me, myself, and I believe, is the reason why they feel entitled to impose agendas that majorities must follow if they don't want to be cancelled, and that's not okay. It's reasonable to ask to be treated as human beings with respect, with the opportunities so they can develop normally, but trying to invade other people's safe places just because they want to is ill. They talk a lot about diversity, about tolerance. Then why can they tolerate biological women wanting to feel safe in an exclusive space? And if they want the same for themselves, instead of making others feel unsafe, they should create their own safe spaces too. Trans-inclusive gyms, trans Olympics, trans bathrooms, and hey, it might even be safer for them as they won't feel excluded or judged. Those things could reduce their stress, their anguish, their anxiety, and they won't have to be making tantrums in public just because they want things to be their way. That's immature, that's distorted, and instead of wasting time and resources on trying to impose their ideas, they should actually invest those on worthy things as therapy, in which they will get useful tools to face the adversity, solve their internal issues, manage their emotions privately and functionally, and don't contaminate other innocent human beings with their personal troubles. Is there something you learned from this video or something that you would like to add to the conversation? Leave it on the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like and share with someone who may find this useful. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out from more interesting psychology content. Thanks for watching.